Tokyo is preparing to declare parts of the evacuation zone around the crippled Fukushima nuclear plant safe to live in. But environmentalists say that the earth near the disaster site is so contaminated that people can't safely return to their homes. Even now, 4 years after the earthquake and tsunami that caused the devastation, abnormalities are still popping up. Well, these photos here of the freaky flowers growing near the devastated area quickly went viral. Mutant butterflies have also made the headlines as well. And one earless bunny born near the ravaged facility stole the hearts of millions. Yeah, that's very cute. Well, independent nuclear energy analyst Michael Schneider thinks the government is simply trying to save money by sending nuclear refugees home.
There is no total public estimate of the cost of the Fukushima disaster so far, but a partial estimate says it's about $100 billion. 60% of that has been spent for compensation measures. And since the government has bailed out the company that ran the Fukushima reactors, it's basically now the government that is liable. So it's a matter really of reducing the overall cost of the disaster.
Well, mysterious crop circles have appeared in Russia again. The phenomena has been discovered by a local resident just outside the city of Tolyatti in central Russia, I should say. Well, the design comprises of 5 circles connected by lines. The Association of Anomalous Phenomena and the UFO researchers believe not a single stem of the crop has been broken inside the pattern. Well, these crop circles first appeared at this buckwheat farm exactly a decade ago. Eruptions of ash from the Sinabung volcano in northern Sumatra cover the skies over the parts of Indonesia. Sinabung is one of the 5 volcanoes which erupted, forcing 3 airports to close. Authorities were closely monitoring the volcano after placing it on the highest alert level in early June. More than 13,000 people have been evacuated from the area, mostly from around the slopes of the volcano itself. A Japanese rock climber had to be rescued in Pakistan's Karakoram mountain range by local army helicopters. She'd had fractured her leg, actually, during the avalanche, and it was the 3rd rescue mission to save foreign climbers by Pakistani military helicopters in the last 2 weeks. Thousands hit the streets to call for higher wages in Poland after 5 years without a pay rise. Well, the mostly security and public sector employees gathered in front of the Prime Minister's office in Warsaw. The government has currently frozen all state salaries as part of preparations to join the European single currency. Well, these are live pictures right now from Simferopol in Crimea, where a delegation of French MPs have arrived for the first high-profile visit by Western politicians since the peninsula rejoined Russia. The delegation aims to examine the situation on the ground amid what they call themselves a one-sided coverage by Western media. They're meeting with the local government representative just now. They'll also look at ways to boost cooperation between France and Russia amid the current economic sanctions. There's a small community in North London called Sweet Stopia. The people there are squatting despite the fact that they aren't actually homeless. Well, they grow their own vegetables and even have their own passports. They may seem like they're just kind of hanging out, but as Laura Smith reports, they're trying to make a serious point.
Boarded up on the outside, broken down on the inside, this is Sweets Way housing estate. Up until about 3 months ago, the 150 houses on this estate were occupied by ordinary working families, but they have all been evicted now, and the only people living here are squatters. Being in this house today, it's pretty hard to imagine that just a few months ago it was an ordinary family home. The squatters have covered the walls with artwork, some of it really beautiful, and everywhere you go you see groups of them sitting, playing music, talking about art, culture and the reasons they're here.
When did we start paying to live on a planet that cost absolutely nothing to create?
To fight social injustice.
To publicise the fact that the human race and all life on this planet is becoming extinct as a result of global warming.
Almost as many different reasons as people, and despite the fact that they might be evicted themselves at any moment, they're building a life.
Never can I kick his dog. No, I don't give to the busker. He's talentless and lazy. He's ruining the country. I think he should get a job.
These squatters aren't homeless. This is a life they've chosen, and they're trying to use it to make a serious point. This used to be a community of low-cost social housing. The families evicted from these homes have been sent to live all over the country. The firm that owns the buildings is planning to demolish and rebuild.
Now they're going to replace these houses with houses that cost 2-3 times as much.
And no social housing at all?
Well, they claim that 20% of it will be affordable housing, but it will still be £1,400–1,500 a month, as opposed to £800 and £900 a month as it is now.
It's a pattern that's repeating itself all over the country. Developers move in, low-income families are thrown out, and in place of the social housing, swanky property springs up, most of it out of the reach of all but a lucky few. And people aren't taking it lying down. Over in Newham, a group of single mothers squatted on the carpenter's estate, which was depopulated to make way for a new development. A group calling themselves the Love Activists have been taking over banks and disused land to protest against cuts. Very occasionally, local pressure groups manage to save their homes.
Everyone having a right to live. No matter what your income, no matter what your background, I think everyone deserves to have somewhere to live, you know. And if these homes are sitting empty, I mean, one day they are going to come in anyway, demolish all these houses and build their luxury homes. While they're here and while they're not demolished, let's use them.
When the sale comes first and the truth comes second, just stop.
This is just one of many pockets of resistance all over London and all over the country. They're all different, some big, some small, some powerful, some not so much. But they all have one basic thing in common. They're all saying that houses are for living in, not for making money out of. Laura Smith, RT, London.
Money, money, money. We don't need your money, money.
Up next on RT International, Max Kaiser talks about the demise of currencies. How much is your country's paper worth? Stay with us.